Inside the room, I gasped at the awesome spectacle laid out before our eyes. Despite the sparse light, a brimming mountain of silver, gold, and other precious-looking artifacts shimmer and twinkle throughout the huge treasure vault. Kid is almost drooling at the sight, but to be fair, a sight like this would captivate most people. Enormous heaps of riches are piled before our eyes in amounts of most people will probably never see in their entire lives. It looks to be authentic.
Remember, our goal is the flame. Do not waste time with frivolities, says Magil flatly.
Geez, I told you, I know.
Regardless of Magil's warning, Kid can't help but be taken aback. She gawks at the room's contents in awe until...
Hey, what's that? In the back, on that pedestal?
There, a palm-sized jewel radiates a pale crimson light, resting patiently behind the other treasure.
It looks as though it's a roaring flame that's somehow been frozen in time. The frozen flame! As Magil glides towards the pedestal, I nervously call out. Be careful. We can't afford falling into a trap. Fine, Kid frustratedly says, glancing back at the door. Just remember, we're short on time. After investigating the pedestal for a little while,
Serge was correct. It does seem to be trapped.
Magil steps back, mumbling something in a low voice while placing his hand near the base of the pedestal. Slowly, an inscription begins to emerge from its surface, shining brightly for a moment.
It should be disarmed now,
he says before cautiously lifting the scarlet jewel from the pedestal. Serge's party got the frozen flame. Phew, we did it! With a sigh of relief, I turn towards Magil. He's looking intently at the flame. Way to go, Magil. All right, let's... Suddenly, the gem shatters into 1,000 pieces in Magil's hands.
It's a fake indeed. That fiend Lynx would never have let the real flame in a place like this.
Damn. Suddenly, an alarm bell rings out. The room lights up and heavy metal bars in front of the door. Our only exit is blocked. I look around, only to see Kid holding a fancy crown, suddenly realizing what she's done. Serge's party got the golden crown! That dim-witted dingo, I say to myself. Suddenly, out of the corners of the room, 4 mechanical birds suddenly come to life. Intruder alert, intruder alert! The loud metallic screeching only adds to my uneasiness.
It doesn't look like it will open,
says Magil, checking the iron bars in front of the door. But before Magil can even finish his sentence, we start to hear deep, snarling voices somewhere outside the room.
Which way is it coming from?
A heavy voice asks.
Sound like the treasure vault's alarm to me.
The voices continue to get louder and louder as we stand motionless inside the room. We silently gawk at each other, hoping any one of us will have some sort of plan. Kid hides herself under a mound of gold coins. Quick, hide, mate! I frantically look around the room. There, over in the far corner, there's an empty treasure chest behind a post. I dash over towards it, climb in, and close the lid.
Looks like there's no one here, boss. That's strange. No one's ever been able to escape this old thing.
Softly opening the chest, I take a peek outside through the small crack and see 5 goblins bedecked in armor, having unlocked the iron bars and standing just a few feet from me. They look around the room restlessly, peeking into the shadows. Eventually, one of them raises his head to speak.
Maybe a rat set it off. The cook was complaining about rats just the other day. Rats? Are you trying to tell me a rat set off a trap?
A fat goblin questions the other with a doubtful face. And with that, squeak, squeak, squeak comes from the corner, over where my Kid is hiding. Taken aback, the goblins stop moving and look at each other. After a little while, the chief slowly strokes his chin and says,
"No, actually, wasn't it a stray cat that the cook was complaining about?"
Meow, meow, comes from a voice from a second time. Again, the goblins glance at each other.
That's strange. What I heard was a vicious hecarim that raided the pantry, I think.
Not a peep this time. I can only picture Kids racking her brain, trying to think of what a hecarim sounds like.
Just as I thought. A thief,
says one of the gods. But just as they start to approach,
oh well, it certainly is a hecarim, without a doubt,
one of them says, and changing a smile with the others.
Well, that's pretty frightening then. Come on, let's get out of here.
The pack begins to file out of the treasure walls. But then, suddenly, the goblins all spring on the pile of gold.
Well, what do we have here?
Hey, get your hands off me, you slimy freaks, Kid says, struggling to break free.
Slimy? A thief like you isn't in much of a position to criticize,
one of them hollers at her. Kicking herself free from her grasp, Kid inches back into the corner of the room. The goblins start to corner her off, laughing to themselves. I quietly sneak out of my hiding place and unsheath my knife. Taking on an entire troop of armed goblins is a lost cause, even for Kid. What should I do? Frankly, I'm in a quandary. I've got to save her. Yeah, I can't abandon my friends, especially at a time like this. Gripping my knife tightly, I charge into the center of the room, shouting, "Hey, you stupid oafs!" They all turn around, staring at me blankly for a moment before their expressions turn into rage.
You just came out here to die, didn't you, little man? You really want us to trample over your head that badly? Well, I suppose we can accommodate you, the goblin boss says, giving a deep laugh. Without a moment's hesitation, Kid shouts back, "Don't think you can easily pick a fight with the likes of the great Kid and get away with it." Wait a minute, so you're the elusive Kid?
The boss asks as his eyes softly narrow.
How sweet is this? Perhaps if I deliver your head to Lord Lynx, he'll give me a nice reward.
The boss goblin takes his morning star from his side. The huge iron ball jangles down through the floor.
Please don't confuse us with any ordinary goblins. Striking fear into the hearts of men anywhere. We are Lynx's elite security force, the fearsome magical gobbler team.
If you got time to spout off all that nonsense, then you sure got enough time to get your ass kicked, Kid shouts, exploding with a fierce roundhouse kick. The goblin teeters and staggers, dizzy by the brunt of her attack.
Let's get him, boys. Start with a little twerp over there.
Metal balls begin to swing around, swishing through the air with deadly speed.
Jet goblin attack, now!
Sliding across the floor like the wind, the goblins simultaneously rush us. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head-on, ready to bash his weapon into my skull. I feel the gush of wind dodge from the metal balls that closely grazes by me. Somehow, I manage to dodge safely. However, I fall off balance and hit the ground with a thud. Beside me, an arrow of light jumps out from Majo's fingertips, instantly pulverizing the goblin. The goblin topples to the ground, half vaporized. Majo stares at it with his ever-present eyes of steel as his dark cape flaps in the breeze. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. I ram the bastards. I gotta think of a better strategy than just standing around. I quickly put my weight into the goblin, trying to force it off balance. Unfazed, the goblin moves only a little as I collide with it. I, however, bump and tumble off it to the ground. Ah! I scream as the goblin kicks me in the ribs. Just then, I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. As I turn around to see Majo's black wind spell streaking out from his fingertips, transforming in midair into a countless number of razors. They fly like homing missiles into one of the goblins, cutting it to shreds. How can a human have such power?
Who are you?
The goblin shrieks and tears its body effortlessly torn to pieces. Majo's expression remains unchanged as he silently surveys the scene, looking for his next target. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming with head-on, ready to bash his weapon into my skull. Frantically parrying the goblin's attack, I try to lunge with my knife. Quick as a mouse, I slice into the goblin's side. It lets loose a gnarling scream of pain as its putrid face comforts in agony. Kid comes to my aid, delivering a lightning-quick strike to one of the goblins. What's the matter, huh? Where's your magical gobbler skills now, or whatever you call it? The goblins can't help but collapse into the floor in pain. Kid's boots in the jaw before backing away for her next attack. Quit screwing around, Surge. Keep an eye on your own trouble. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. As quickly as I can, I roll over to try to dodge the attack. However, the iron ball strikes me square in the back, sending me clear off my feet. I hit the ground with a hard thud as the back of my head smacks against the hard stone floor. I roll over and try to recover, but the throbs of pain are unbearable.
Sing, boy. Sing the song of pain.
Scampering away, I suddenly see the dark shadow cover the ground in front of me. Fearfully looking up, a huge goblin towers directly above my quivering body. Die! The goblin roars, swinging its weapon down. No, I won't go that easy. Just then, I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. I turn around to see Majo's black wind spell striking from her fingertips. Transforming in midair into countless number of razors, they fly like homing missiles into one of the goblins, cutting it to shreds.
How can a human have such power? Who are you?
The goblin shrieks in fear as his body effortlessly torn to pieces. Magel's expression remains unchanged as he silently surveys the scene, looking for his next target.
Long live Lord Liggs! Glory to the magical gobblers!
Says the last of the goblins as they come crashing to the ground in a bloody mess. Phew, that's the last of them.
Easy, easy, says Kid, wiping some sweat off her brow. Such a goof, I can take care of myself, but thanks, mate, she says, cracking a smile. Her face hits me like a glimmering beam of light, cleansing my darkness and filling me with joy. I'll never forget what you did big back there, even if I never see you again after tonight.
We must be on our way, Magel says. There's no way of knowing who else knows we're here now.
I know. That bastard is causing us too much trouble. They said we were Link's personal guards, yeah? They might have some valuable stuff on them. But before she even finished speaking, Kid starts to search through the head goblin's clothes. Sheesh, there's really no need to be such a scavenger. Hey, what's this? She says, removing a metal object from the goblin's pocket. It's a hand-shaped medallion of some sort, covered in an archaic-looking symbols.
It's a key, Magel says, walking over towards us. These markings suggest it unlocks a certain magical seal.
Wow. Well, they're lost, says Kid, casually putting the plate in her pocket. Damn it, they don't have any other good stuff, cheap goblins. She stands up and looks around, sighing. It'd be a waste to leave all this loot behind, though.
We can always come back for it later, Kid.
Kid turns around and grins. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's go. The night won't last forever. From the treasure vault, paths extend to the left and right. The right path proceeds back towards the terrace, with an ascending staircase lies to the left.